Hello everyone! In this video, I'm going to be talking more about daylight savings and ClassIn. So I know I've already made a video before about daylight savings and how we have to adjust our schedule on ClassIn to account for that time change because as we know, our students in China don't have daylight savings. So if we want to teach them at the same time, we have to adjust our schedule. This video is going to be a little different because I'm going to be focusing on the batch scheduling. Since a lot of teachers are now using the business version, which means they've discovered they can now batch add classes, which is amazing. You no longer have to input each individual lesson. But now it comes to what do I do with daylight savings? What do I need to do when I batch add these classes? So I'm going to show you with an example of the easiest way, I think, to adjust your schedule for daylight savings. So for this example, and if you don't know, daylight savings begins on March 12th. So for this example, I'm going to be using a fake student that I teach my local time, 5 a.m., which means my student in China is having class at 6 p.m. because I live on the Eastern time zone. So right now that is the time difference. So of course, I always schedule the class for my time and then the student sees it for their local time when they log in. So for my example, I of course want to use the batch scheduling. So you can see here, I have its start time 5 a.m. every Monday. But you're going to notice that when it goes to daylight savings, so on March 13th, the first day for the student after daylight savings, it still, of course, shows 5 a.m. because that's the time I set the class for. But you're going to see it shows DST. All that's telling you is basically a reminder that you are now in daylight savings time. It does not mean they're going to fix your schedule for you. You still have to adjust the schedule yourself. So for me, when daylight savings begins on March 12th, I still want to teach as long as you're still teaching your student at their current time. So if I want to teach my student at 6 p.m., I now have to schedule the classes for my local time at 6 a.m. So again, I see on my schedule, it still says 5 a.m. So I have to fix that. Don't worry. Since you use the batch scheduling, you don't have to go in and manually change these times. All you have to do is go to the first daylight savings time on the schedule. So I'm going to skip the February 27th, skip the March 6th because those are still correct. Those are still 5 a.m. my time. I'm going to go to the first daylight savings time on March 13th, and I'm going to click on this little pencil, pen, whatever it is, to edit. So I'm going to click on that one, and I want to make sure I choose Batch Edit. And then I'm going to change the time that I'm going to be teaching after daylight savings begins. And again, I have to adjust it by 1 hour. So now I'm going to be teaching at 6 a.m. my time, which again, the student will see on their side as 6 p.m. their local time. So here it says move forward back the same time or change to the same time. Well, either way is going to be the same number. So I just do change to the same time. So it's going to be 6 o'clock for daylight savings time. This is not going to change any times before the date I chose. It's only going to change everything going forward. So I'm going to click done. Maybe. Oh, there we go. And voila. So now my 2 times before daylight savings still say 5 a.m., but now everything after daylight savings is going to say 6 a.m. Such a easy, simple way to adjust for daylight savings. So if you're adding your schedule now, don't worry about them being incorrect. All you have to do is add everything right now, this time you teach now, and then just go to the first time where daylight savings begins, and then you can edit starting at that date. So hopefully that clears things up for everybody. So don't stress out about daylight savings. The most important thing is remembering that you have to schedule the class for your local time, and they will see the correct time for their local time as well. If you have any questions, let me know. Bye, everyone.